Hi everybody, and today I want to talk once again about Spectrum Global Solutions. The stock right now is trading at 50 cents per share, and the stock price has been doing very well over the past couple weeks. Now, I was fortunate enough to get in right at 27 cents, 27.61, I believe my average cost was. So as you can see, on September 20th, the price was at 28 cents per share, so that was pretty much when I was buying this stock, and now we're sitting at 50 cents per share. We actually got up to a high, I believe it was on Thursday, of I think it was 67 cents per share, so looking very strong. Just because we had some consolidation on Friday with the stock going down 10%, I personally think this could be the beginning of a massive bull run for this stock, and I think SGSI, Spectrum Global Solutions, once again is the stock. One thing you should note about this company is that there is a name change coming along with the ticker change to hwni Neworks, or hwni, very soon. So that should be coming probably in the next week, couple weeks maybe, or in the next month at the very latest, along with an additional acquisition which will add millions of dollars to both the top and bottom lines. The CEO has mentioned this in an interview. I'm going to leave the link to this interview in the description if you want to check this out. Some very good stuff regarding the CEO. This is the new CEO of hwni Neworks. He's actually been the CEO of hwni Neworks for a while, and hwni Neworks just went public into the SGSI shell basically as part of a merger, and so now the businesses have been combined. And so I definitely recommend checking out this video of Mark Porter if you're looking for more information on the company. This guy goes over the second quarter 2021 report. He gives guidance on what's coming for the company, what he expects for the company going forward, along with the past trends, which the numbers are very, very good. And that's something I want to get into in this video. But real quick, if you're new to the channel and you want to get access to these picks before anybody else, check out the Patreon, Multi-Bagger Investing. That's who we are right here. We're trying to make big returns. And with small cap and micro cap stocks, you have the chance to make much larger returns than you would just investing in blue chip large cap stocks. Nothing against that, nothing against index funds or anything like that, but here on the channel we're focused on small caps and we're focused on micro cap stocks to help you grow your portfolio as quickly as possible, like I've been able to do over this past year, being able to turn about $5,000 into currently over just about $250,000 in my portfolio. So these are the types of returns you can make, and I say that just realizing that it only takes a few big trades. And in my experience over this last year, basically three or maybe four really good trades have been what have gotten me to where my portfolio is today. So anybody can make it happen. Check that out if you're interested. With that being said, this right here is the big second quarter news that came out. I was just talking about the video with the CEO. Definitely check that out if you want to get more due diligence on Spectrum Global Solutions, or HWNI, will soon be the new ticker symbol. And once again, SGSI is that ticker symbol if you're looking up this stock for right now, but then it's going to change before too long here. The point is, with the second quarter, this is, the highlights right here. Look, shareholders' net equity is 11.174 million versus 1 million for the same period ending June 30th, 2020. Now, shareholders' net equity, just so you guys know, this is the assets versus liabilities. So when you look at the company's balance sheet, for example, when you look at this balance sheet for SGSI or Spectrum Global Solutions combined now with hwni Neworks, what you're seeing is that they have a lot more assets on the balance sheet. They have a lot of cash than their liabilities, which is a very good sign because you always want to have that liquidity. What if the company were to liquidate? What would the shareholders get? So based upon these numbers, we're talking about 35 cents per share. So when I was buying the stock at 27 cents, it wasn't even worth what its book value is, or its assets minus liabilities. Now, as far as the pro forma revenue, this is a conjunction of both hwni and Spectrum Global Solutions when the merger was taking place. So it kind of gets complicated, but going forward, we should expect growing numbers in terms of their revenues. I would expect these revenues to continue to grow, but they did come in at 10.8 million pro forma and 1.161 pro forma net income. And then hwni's industry-leading Overwatch managed cybersecurity marketplace showed tremendous growth in every metric. And this is another piece of news that came out. So I want to show you this real quick. This is hwni Neworks reports record revenue gains in July for managed cybersecurity division. MRR is up 22% month over month, and total revenue is up 41%. 41% in just 1 month, folks. That is unbelievable growth. If you think about penny stocks and which types of penny stocks out there are doing this type of growth, it's not many. Let's just say that. It's probably not even 99.5% of them, if there's even any penny stocks that are growing revenues this fast. And this is what gets me so excited. Even though I only have 19,600 shares of SGSI stock, I still am long with all of you fine folks out there who are buying this stock. And it gets me super excited talking about this because these types of revenue gains are incredible. And all this information can be found on Highwire Networks website. You can check out the investor, everything, the news, all of that stuff. So if you want to check that out, highwirenetworks.com. But the point is, these are absolutely amazing numbers. And when you look at how much cash they have on the balance sheet, they have basically 35% of their cash on the balance sheet. And I actually just wrote an article on this stock, SGSI Spectrum Global Solutions. I believe this potentially could be similar to how ALP ran. So when I started buying ALP, as I explained in this article, when I started buying ALP down here, if you can see from this chart, at 5 cents per share, and the stock eventually went to $8 per share, well, ALP's market cap at the time was only $5 to $6 million. And so currently, when I started buying SGSI, it was about a $9 million market cap, and now the market cap has grown to $15 million. But that's still a very low amount, especially when you consider that SGSI, at the time that ALP went on its massive run, arguably has better financials than ALP did at that time. So that's what I'm saying. Now, ALP has improved its financials dramatically, but I mentioned this in much greater detail in the article. The point is, when you look at the financials and you look at the market cap of SGSI, Spectrum Global Solutions, or Highwire Networks, whatever you want to call it for right now, the point is these financials are absolutely amazing, and arguably, with a lower share structure of just 31 million shares, and ALP, had 120 million shares outstanding and still ran to $8 plus. And ALP was only doing $30 million in revenue a year, and SGSI looks to be doing north of 40, 50, maybe even $60 million in revenue this year alone, along with positive net income, which is something that ALP didn't even have when it went on that massive run from 4 cents, 5 cents to $8 plus. Now, as they say, past performance is not indicative of future success, right? Well, I don't want to get into all that and all the details and whether that's correct or not. The point is, this is just an example. This is not financial advice, but it does get me very excited looking at the potential that these do have, especially when you get into the really low float type stocks. Like if we go over to over-the-counter markets, we can see that the outstanding shares for SGSI is just 31.5 million. So based upon the current market cap, their price to sales ratio isn't even 1, and their net income or their price to earnings ratio is probably a 2 or a 3 based upon their expected net income of at least maybe 5 million or around that range. So when you're looking at these numbers, just realize that this is a deep discount growth stock that I think the market and traders, this happens a lot of times, especially with penny stocks, which gives you these arbitrage opportunities to buy these stocks at a very cheap discount. And, I bought this stock at 27 cents, so I've almost doubled my money already, right? And so this is the point when you get in these stocks early, and I think this stock definitely has a lot more upside, and I definitely could see it hitting $5 or $10 per share, especially when you consider the fact that they just came out with news, and they're now talking about a market uplisting, right? Now, there's always the risk with a market uplisting. Highwire Networks hires EVP of finance to accelerate uplist to NASDAQ. Now, there's always the risk, right, whenever a market uplisting happens, that potentially there could be dilution. There could be something in terms of a reverse split. And the CEO mentioned this in the Q2 financials, and he addressed this, and he said he understands shareholders' concerns. So hopefully we don't get any kind of reverse split, and hopefully the share price grows organically to meet the minimum requirement for the NASDAQ, which is $4 per share right now. So they have to reach $4 per share, and then they can uplist to the NASDAQ. So this is what we're talking about here. But they did hire a new EVP. This guy has a lot of experience, and so they're changing their name. This press release mentions the name change, and it talks about the new Chris Sorensen was named Executive Vice President of Finance to bolster financial controls and compliance and potentially help uplist them to the NASDAQ. So, like I said, do your own due diligence on this stock, but I think it's very interesting what I'm seeing here. I think it looks very potentially like a grand slam home run. Let's just say that. I think it could be a massive 5x, 10x, maybe even 20x stock, which would put the price at $5 to $10 per share. If you're talking, $5 per share, that's only $155 million market cap approximately, based upon the current shares outstanding. And if you're talking $10 per share, that's only $310 million market cap. That's not out of the picture at all for this to happen. The traders in the market just need to realize the opportunity. And I think if they are able to get up to the NASDAQ, if they go to $4 per share, for example, and we can get there, if they go there quickly, right, and they can get there and then the share price goes up, because all of that extra liquidity and the buying power that comes in could push the price a lot higher. So that's another thing I could see happening is if, get an uplist once we reach $5 a share and then go to 10 or 15 bucks per share. And then from there, we can have a huge return. That's like 30x, if not more, potentially. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but crazier things have happened in the past. And a lot of these stocks, these types of stocks go under the radar, and there's not a lot of hype about them because the traders buying these, they have deep pockets. There's a lot of smart money investors buying these stocks. But in regards to like seeing these stocks hyped up on different media channels and stuff, a lot of times it doesn't happen because a lot of those types of people on social media, they like to focus on the cheaper stocks. So these stocks can really fly under the radar. So hopefully, this video brought some value to you. And the fact that if you haven't heard of this stock, at least now you can start doing some research to see if this would fit in with your investment portfolio and what you're trying to achieve and, your investing goals and everything like that. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And until next time, take care. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.